Hello, everyone. We're going to start the webinar here. Before we start with the webinar itself, I'm going to give everyone a minute or two to join so we can start properly in a second. Maria, are you there? How are you?
Yes, I'm here. I'm fine. Thank you very much. What about you?
Pretty good, pretty excited. We had a lot of ideas on how we wanted to approach this webinar. Our plumbing is a system, but we advanced a bunch in the last year, 2 years. So we wanted to show a bunch of functionality. I don't know if we'll have time to cover everything, but I believe it's an interesting webinar. Maria, have you by any chance reviewed all the projects today, yesterday? Can you talk us a bit about what we're going to see today?
Yes, today I want to say the best features of the program, and then and the last part. So please, please stay. I want to give real examples, real step by step of certain parts of the project. So
okay.
There's going to be a practical part also.
Okay. So that's an interesting segment. So we usually talk about our software in a very general way. We expect everyone joining to be either new to the software or they know a little bit about the software but not much. So we are approaching this kind of webinar from a starting kind of viewpoint. And from there, we'll start doing webinars in more advanced features. I believe today we'll talk about some features that you can do, relatively agile tools we have for making the projects faster, but we don't have the time to cover everything. These softwares do a lot of things. So we'll talk about some stuff today. I will try to cover it for the future. So in regards to the webinar itself, I believe we can start. So we're gonna start introducing the speakers. So Maria, if you want to go first, talk a bit about what you do in CYPE, how long have you been here, and in general, what is your day-to-day in the company?
Of course. My name is Maria Adrián. I'm an industrial engineer, and I've been working in CYPE for more than 15 years, always in the technical support department, which I like because I have the opportunity to see so many projects, to solve questions, issues, make suggestions. I don't know, never bored.
Yeah, from all over the world also, because you work in the international segment of our technical support, right?
Yes, now international department, but I've been in the Spanish market for a lot of years, so I've been traveling, etc. So yes, it's been such a journey.
Okay. You work all kinds of MEP or M&E, depending on the country, they call it different things. All kind of MEP installations, right? You not only work plumbing, you also do HVAC, you do ductwork, any kind of PV system. So do you want to talk a bit about that?
Lighting. Well, I think one of the strong points of our software is that we have specialized software, but of so many parts of the project, beginning from the architecture. Now we have very powerful modelers. So with the program, with our software, you could do the project from the beginning to the end. And well, of course, I don't cover everything I know myself, but a lot of programs I know. I know a lot of programs. With others, of course, I need the help of my colleagues.
We have a lot of experts in different segments of the software, but we have a lot of overlap too. So people do a lot of different things. They are relatively simple. I don't know if simple is the right word to put here, but the software is very ergonomic in that we will show it later, but it works top, down, left, right. So basically, if you follow the logical progression of what the screen is showing you, usually is how the project goes. So it's very intuitive to start working with them. So that's why so many technicians do so many things. Okay.
Exactly.
So in regards to me, I'm an electronical engineer by trade, but I've been working as sales and marketing related topics for a while now. I am a country manager from some countries. I work for the UK and I have some zones in Africa that I cover too. And I'm an engineer wannabe. I worked as an engineer for a very short time, and I jumped fields very early. So I understand everything we're talking about, but don't ask me a very specific question because I will need Maria for that. So I'm very happy that I get to do this stuff with technicians on my side, because I'll be in trouble if I had to deal with this myself. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can text in the chat, you can text us, and we'll try to help. But probably Maria will be the one helping here, since she's the one who knows everything most of the time.
At least I try.
Okay.
And
Very
I know
helpful.
who knows everything.
Aggressively humble. It's fine. It's fine. I respect that. And yeah, where to find us? This is an interesting point. So I know, Maria, you worked with a bunch of our distributors. We have a lot. So
yes.
What we usually do is we get companies that work with us, and we tell them, we teach them the software, and they have dealerships, local dealerships with local technical support. Not all of them have it, but most of them do. So if you go into this website, it's just CYPE dealership locator in Google. It'll land you here. You click on your country and will show you all the different dealerships you have there, the phone number, the email, the company name, the website. So you have a way to contact your local distributor. You can contact us directly, and we'll reach out either directly or through the distributor. But it's really easy to navigate, really easy to work around. If you want to reach me directly, that's my email, aitor.perez@cype.com. My manager, Jamie, is always available too, but I prefer to contact me, because if you contact me and I don't answer and you contact my manager, you'll get me in trouble. So I personally prefer you contact me first. And if you contact Jaime, don't tell him I didn't reply. And yeah, this is basically it. This is us, a bit of an introduction to the sales part of this. We'll go straight to the technical side in a minute. Maria, I don't know if you want to mention something else before we jumped into the technical part.
Yes, maybe just mention our email, the support email. It's support@cype.com. Okay.
Oh, pretty easy.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I think this is enough for now. We'll jump straight to the technical part. So we can turn off the cameras. Maria, if you mind.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing my screen, and I'll give it up to you, Maria. Okay, perfect. So before we jump into the software, I want to talk a bit of the environment. So when you jump into any kind of new software environment, there are a few things that you work with every day that you should know a little. So before we do anything, we're going to go to BIMserver. So Maria, if you don't mind, starting in Google.
Okay.
There you go. And just Google BIMserver. There you go. So BIMserver is a platform where everything happens inside. We have the store there, we have a lot of information, and we also have the projects. So we're going to start talking about the store, where all of our software is. So you can see Maria clicking there. There you go. So this is all of our software. We have a lot of different modules that do a lot of different things. So this web page may be a little bit intimidating at first. Just at the top, you have the categories. So today we're going to talk about plumbing, water. So if you click in water supply, you can see the different modules we have for water. Today we're going to focus on the main module of the chain, which is water systems. And if you click in any of our modules, you can go in, click in Maria water systems, and in there you'll see some description of the software, the languages it has. At the bottom you have some projects. In South America mainly, they like to share complicated projects that they've done, and some people look for engineers in this kind of featured website. This is the contribution gallery. We have a featured website. Go to featured, where you can share your projects and you just tell people what you've done. For some people, privacy is very important. Some people want to be seen a lot. So these are actual projects that actual people like to share. There's a comment section. People like to engage in this kind of sharing of projects. Not everyone likes it, but if you want to, it's here. All of our software has this. If we go back to the, there you go. All of our software has this application websites link at the right, and this is the website I want to focus on the most. This is where you can find all the information about the software. A lot of our modules are very easy because they do very specific things, but at first it can be a bit intimidating, right? Well, you have at the bottom left, you have the detailed information in which you can see point by point the norms, the building codes that the software has, and most of them have configurable standards. So if you don't find yours there, you can probably adapt any of those to your country. If you go down, you can see a whole lot of information about the software, the windows, the interface. Like, this is a way of showing you what the software does even before we open the software. If you're new to the site, if you want to find information about the software, this is the best way. Go to BIMserver, go to the store, application website, and here you can have all the information you'll ever need. And this is the same in all of our modules. So I think it's a very intuitive way to navigate our platform. If you can go back, Maria, we can show the learning resources. So learning resources is a different way to do it. It's my favorite way to do it. We have manuals, right? Like reports and documents is a thing that it's there. Some people like it. Some people like to have a manual to go over, and you can go in and just read a lot of information about the modules and a lot of information about the different buttons and what it does and how to do it. Me personally, I prefer video. That's my favorite way of consuming information. So another way to approach us is videos, tutorials, and webinars. Again, same interface for every app. If you're talking about webinars, a webinar like this or a more technical focused webinars, step-by-steps, you have more complex webinars with more modules, everything is here. So you can navigate it a bit, you have the tags, you have the different descriptions, you can go on YouTube and you have a bit more information, you have comments. So this is a very easy way to start inside. Again, we always talk about starting. You have a lot of different videos, quick views. We keep expanding this gallery every day, so it's a very easy way to approach CYPE. In fact, if you go back, the FAQ, of course, I don't usually use it, but it's probably a very easy way to answer a very frequently asked question. You can use the search tool to find anything, but there is a lot of stuff here that you may have questions about, and it's directly answered here. Okay, so go back. There is the third option for when you already have the software. You buy it, you start, you see a video, and you're like, okay, but I don't know how to do this specific thing I want to do. Well, you have the technical support, which is the third tag. If you click there, it's a bit counterintuitive. It doesn't look like you can click it, but if you click there, you can go down a bit, and you have the different ways to contact us. You can use a contact form, you can send an email, or you can just call. And I personally think that calling is a very good way to solve it. If we cannot reach you because time zones or because for whatever reason you find that the technicians are occupied, you can leave a note through email, through a contact form, and 100% of the time we'll reach out to you and we'll try to help you. One of the main assets of CYPE is technical support. They're really good, and they spend a lot of time a day trying to help people. Okay, so before we jump to BIMserver, I want to show very quick the webinar gallery. Maria, if you can just Google CYPE webinar gallery, or up there you can have it in the, I think it's in the training side. Training? Third.
Yes, that's it. It's all right.
Fine. The webinar gallery has all the webinars we've ever done, classified by topic. So today we're talking about plumbing, but imagine an overlap that happens sometimes is people are asked to do some 3D design for, well, it's not that common for plumbing, but for example, for HVAC, or when people ask us about some structural stuff. It's always interesting to see how we do stuff here, but we have also architectural software that's free that you can check. So imagine they give you a model and you want to model the house or the spaces for whatever reason. The software is free, CYPE architecture is free, and you have a lot of information here. And all of the webinars are here to check. So I think it's a really interesting way to approach. Again, this is the way I like to consume videos. When I started working outside, this is where I spent a lot of time learning different things. So I highly recommend it. Okay, so we're going to jump on the back of BIMserver. We're going to go into the project tab. So Maria, if you be so kind as to go back to BIMserver.
To my account?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I'm showing now my account. When I am already registered, this is what I have inside.
Okay, so when you sign up, this is what you'll see. And this is basically the inside of BIMserver, right? If you go to my projects or my contributions, basically the same thing. My project is mine, contributions is where you contributed to someone else's project. And we can go to today's projects. And this is what you have. This is the same thing you have. Just a folder with different layers of information. So we can see the 3D model, and here you have different layers. Imagine everyone here has worked with AutoCAD before. It's the same logic, just in BIM. BIM is just layers of information. You have the architectural model. You can see this was done by CYPE architecture. And this is just an architectural model. This is the first step in every project. And we can deactivate the architectural model, and you can see the plumbing model. This is actual project. It's not a 3D model. It's the actual project. It has a 3D side, but it has all the technical information. It has reports. It has everything in it. Right now, we're just watching the GLTF, the visual representation of the project. But now, Maria, if you go back, we can see that the folders, if you go to the contribution tab, not only have the visual information, but also have the PDF information with lists. If you need reports, the outputs, everything is here. This folder can be accessed by you or by the owner of the projects, or by anyone you share the project with. So it's a way of having the actual project in one place. You work with it, all the software is automatically synchronized here. You don't need to copy paste anywhere. It's just uploaded automatically when you finish. So it's a very convenient way to have a CDE, common data environment, completely free. You don't pay for the hosting of the projects. You don't pay for registering. You don't pay for anything. So I think that's very quick. I tried to be quick. I apologize if it took a bit longer than expected. Of what CYPE has for you from the get-go. Everything we've shown so far is free. So if you want to reach out, if you want to see videos, if you want to try the platform, everything until this point is completely free. You can do it right now. And now we are going to go to the actual engineering side. Maria, if you want to catch it from here.
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it. Now we are going to open CYPEPLUMBING Water Systems, okay? This is the actual project we were showing just before in BIMserver.center. This is the interface of the program. As you can see, here you can load other models. So that's why I'm seeing here the architectural model, in this case, from CYPE architecture. I can, of course, make it invisible anytime or partially. For example, in this case, I'm going to leave maybe I want to leave the sanitary appliances from CYPE architecture. So I get an idea, okay?
I have a question. So if I have a HVAC project on, and I also have the ducts, and I have the different machines, I'll be able to see them here, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
The reads all the the results from all our programs. Yes, yes. Even from our programs and from third-party software. Okay, I know people use it sometimes, so they can even see these models here. And
I mentioned that because people with BIM try to improve their design methods, and one of the things that is relatively important is clash detection and not overlapping with other systems. It usually doesn't happen, but imagine you are the last engineer that gets the model, the HVAC project, you'll be able to actually see it. We have a clash detection tool in the BIM server, so we can automatically detect clash detections, but you don't have to. You can actually see the HVAC model here, so you can just avoid it. So there's something to keep into account. Sorry, Maria. I'll let
exactly.
You.
No. It was an interesting point because yes, I was thinking about the beginning, the architectural part, but of course you can be uploading more and more installations. In this case, for example, the sanitary installation, which would be done with plumbing sanitary systems, they are very related, and of course, it's very interesting to be able to see all the models when you are working. But at any moment, you can make them invisible and work faster without being seeing them. And at the moment you want to make them visible, you can read the elements by type of model and also by category. So this is a viewer, an IFC viewer, very practical from my point of view. And well, once you know the interface of one program, you will learn the others very, very fast because we try them to make them as similar as possible.
The expression top to bottom, left to right?
Yes. Well, no, because this is exactly where I should start from. Okay, from this button. In fact, this is the core of the program, the general options button, because well, what is the plumbing water systems? It's very simple. The aim is to design and analyze drinking water supply systems. In other words, to size the pipes, sizing the pipes. But in order to do that, you need, of course, the consumptions, which is the end of the installation, then the pipes, and then the start of the installation. That can be the supply connection, or it could be from an accessory. If maybe you want to do just the interior installation, for example, okay? But before doing that, you need to set the program with the equipment you are going to use and the checks you want to make. And this is done here, okay, in the general options, from the general options button. And if you let me just explain briefly this, because if people understand this, they will understand the rest of the program, I think. Okay, so the first thing is what type of calculation does the program? The program uses, as you can click here and consult anytime, uses the Darcy-Weisbach equation for the pressure loss, for the calculation of the pressure loss in each span of the network. Here you have the equation, of course, and for the friction factor, the equation we use is the Colebrook-White equation. Here it is. And you can search for the rest of equations here. So this is the part that is going to be used always as default, okay? But then the rest of the things are quite customizable in the sense that you can even say what kind, the type of design. I mean, the program lets you just check the installation, so you can put the diameters you want to use, and the program will tell you if it meets the requirements or not. This is one option. And the other option is the automatic design with the magic wand button. Okay, when you do that, you can use different design criteria. One is by minimum available pressure requirement, and there's also some extra checks you can make, and also or the design criteria can be of minimum diameter. So that's quite, I mean, these are the options you can do for the automatic design. And then, of course, there's many ways of telling the program about the simultaneity using these equations, or setting even the flow in the span. So for me, I mean, this program is really flexible and makes the tedious work for the engineer, but lets the engineer with a lot of power. Okay, because everything is here. Okay, and when there are more options, you can set about the drawings, the symbols, the units, etc.
We were talking about the units the other day because we were talking about pressure, and we were making comments on how like you can customize the software as much as you want to make it comfortable for you. If you work for different countries, you can have different setups. So can you save, for example, if you make a setup because you're working, imagine you are in the UK and you're working from South Africa, for South Africa, sorry. So you want to use the norms used in South Africa, but then your next project is going to be in, I don't know, in Kenya. So you need to have different setups saved. Can you save setups?
Yes, of course. With this button, you can save all the options for all of this all of the window, or you can save things one by one. For example, your list of consumptions. Imagine that you have created one by hand because you found it in a catalog or anything. You can save it only the consumption. But well, normally people save everything that is in just one click. So you have it for other projects. So yes, of course, this work is done only once.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, well, the second part is the material and equipment selection, which is the library of materials and equipment. For instance, the catalog for the pipes. You can create your own pipe catalog with the values you find in the catalog you are using, and of course you can use materials that are already in our database. We have from different brands, so you can use them.
Or you can create your own, right?
Here they are, and you have this material that you will be able to use in the project. Okay, I had already done, but you will see. I can delete them, of course, or edit. Okay, as I if I need to do it. Okay, and then the last part of the general options, I'm almost there, but this is really important. This is the design and check options to be carried out. It's really what the checks that I want to do in, for example, for the pipes. Every time I insert a pipe, I tell what type I'm using, and this means what limits or what checks I want to do in that pipe. For example, I can have a pipe for the beginning of the installation, meaning from the first part, from the supply connection point, and I know that it's going to be always cold water, and as the minimum value I want is 25 millimeters. Imagine, okay, for in my standard is like that. I have this minimum and maximum velocity range of values, and I want to use this increase of the real length due to the accessories, for instance. And just give you an example, okay? And this has, of course, this simultaneity, okay? So I define these types, and I will be able to use them when I'm doing the installation, when I'm drawing the installation. This will go after, okay? But just the explanation that here I have this, in this case, 9 types of pipes, but I could create as many as I need. And okay, and of course save it in the computer forever. And okay, so that's more or less, this is the explanation of this part. But I think it's important because, you know, like, for example, why I'm seeing this number of consumptions here, these buttons, because this this is the number of consumptions I have in this list. I could have more. I could define as many as possible and set it, or even tell if I want to see them to see it or not, etc. I don't want to extend more in this because we could spend.
It's important. Like, this is showing you the first weekend you're gonna have to spend preparing your tools, and then from there you'll be able to use them systematically. We'll talk about results later, but this is like the engineering part where you need to sit down and see, okay, what do I need? Is the norm here? Is everything as I like it? I want pressures to be under a certain amount because I want to certify that my installations are going to be comfortable to this or whatever. So I think this is really important because people are going to spend the first 3, 4, 5 hours of their time inside here. So I think it's really important for people to see.
Exactly. And if you enrich this, the more info you give here, the more info you will get in the reports. Because all of these tests can be here, these empty boxes can be completed by the user, and this will be get in the documents. Okay, so it's really, yeah, you can make it really interesting.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So,
and I think, yes, at least I show you the most, yes, how you. Why the program is doing what it's doing is because all of this. And okay, what the program does when we click in update results, when we click in the design button. Then maybe as this is finished, this is already finished, okay? And maybe I can show you how to insert an extra element so people understand the way to use the program and how easy it is, okay? Look, this program is 3D, as you are seeing. The environment is 100% three-dimensional. Here we can work in the 3D view, and we can create as many floor views as we need. It's great to have I think it's great to have a 3D program. But what I like about this program is that we have made it easy also for people that are more comfortable with working in 2D. So we can combine two ways of working. In fact, is what I'm going to do now. Imagine that this was finished, but for some reason they think that they forgot to put some elements in the installation, and somebody gives me this file and tell me, please insert an extra wash basin in this file and send me the report. Imagine I'm in that situation, okay? And what should I do? Do I need somebody to send me the equipment? No, I can do everything from CYPEPLUMBING Water Systems. I don't need anything else, okay? And what would I do? Well, first, I probably would change from this 3D view to a floor plan view, which I find more easier to work at the beginning, at least. So I come here to edit, and the projection button, okay? I come here and I see it like that in a plant view. And well, of course, they have told me that this in this space where I need to put the element. So well, the first thing is if it's a wash basin, I'll go to the consumption list. I have here the icon for that. So I come here, and as you can see, I see the position of the element. So I'm going to rotate it. Here you can see these arrows. The right position would be like this, for example, okay? And let's say it's here. Okay. The next thing, of course, is to connect it. Here, all the time, I'm going to move from 2D to 3D so people see what I'm actually doing. I'm in 2D. I was working in 2D, but this is what I inserted. This has this height value because this is from the default height for the wash basin. Okay, this is disconnected now. If you see, this is the element, and I have to connect the blue arrow for the cold water and the red for the cold water, hot water. Sorry. Let's go back to this view, and then let's insert the blue, the cold water. As I say, in this example, somebody sent me the file And in fact, it's true. Somebody said me this is finished. So I don't know the height of this span. So I'm going to click here and see. Okay, I see that this is 2.78 meters. So what I'm going to do is to click here in the pipe. It's cold water. I know the type of pipe I usually use for this, for the connection of an element, accept. And here it's important. I'm in the 2D mode, and I'm working in the ground floor, and I want that the displacement, as I said, of 2.78 meters. Okay, let's accept. And what I'm going to do now is click in the element, and then in the pipe, if I want, I can use the orthogonal button. So here it is. I insert it here. Now, after doing this, I get these these warnings. The element is disconnected. The element is disconnected. This is normal because the vertical pipe. I'll do it later. Okay. The next thing, I'm going to continue with the hot water. The same procedure. I'm going to see first that this is in 2.85 meters. This is hot water. I know this is the one I like using for this part, the last part of the installation. Here you can see how I snap the pipe and the element here. Here it is. Again, I get warnings because the element is disconnected. Okay. Now, what is missing? What is missing the vertical pipe. I have many options. I could insert the pipe manually in 3D using the 3D view. Okay, having been in 3D and insert it manually. But I want to show you how I have the opportunity to show you the automatic these automatic tools that create vertical pipes. If I click here, this it's a little bit small, but it has a magic wand again. So if I click here in vertical pipes, as you see, the program generated these two pipes automatically for us.
That's for people who just design in 2D, right? And they just want to, for example, you can draw the consumptions and then you just draw the map of pipes, the roofing, I guess, of pipes, and all the vertical pipes will be done automatically. So we are doing it for 2 pipes now, but we could have done the whole installation just in 2D, just painting the pipes, and then we go to 3D to check that everything has connected correctly. Am I right? That's
it. With 2 pipes, I could do it in a minute, but yes, that's the thing. If you do it with a big building, you save so much time. And then, well, the other thing, you can see, I wanted to show the warnings and everything. Let me just check, because I have to check again. If we update results, the warning should disappear. I still have one warning. This element is disconnected. So
maybe you didn't connect in the right place in the construction.
Yes,
I think the point was in the middle.
Yes, you're right. I think the problem...
The elevation of the vertical piping.
Yes, you're right. I'm going to change it.
It's all good. I think it's a good way to recognize that the software won't let you get away with stuff.
Exactly. Look, that's right. I use another height for this. Okay, this is not okay. So there are many ways of solving this, of course. The fastest maybe is to delete it. Come back here. Yes, the program will not let you do something wrong. And
so we can be, if we finish an installation, right, and we click to check, 99.9% of the time, you will make sure that your installation is checked. Everything is connected. Yeah, you need to connect them vertically.
Now it's connected. Exactly. Now it's connected. I'm sorry. The other thing, now that I know that everything is connected, you can see here that there are errors. It says that some checks have not been verified. This is because look at this, please. The diameter is not enough. As you see, well, there's the minimum diameter of the range I have, and I said for the type 5 that at least we should have 16 millimeters of diameter. Okay, I could change it manually if I want. It's possible to do that and lock this, but I wanted to show you the automatic dimensioning, that if instead of just checking, we click here in the design, the program, of course, will change the diameter for me.
Perfect.
Okay, this is the kind of thing the program, of course, is not, I'm showing just one little example. You have to imagine this or extrapolate this to a whole building.
We'll do an imagination exercise at the end because I want to talk about the potential of this. So all we've done here, the little addition, we can, if you're agile with the software, which will take you a week, I'll bet you money. I always say it in my webinars, I'll bet you money that you'll be able to be agile as Maria in a week. Maybe not as Maria, but probably as me in a week. And you'll be able to do some stuff. It will take you a minute. You just need to make sure the elevation is right, connect, vertical connection is automatic, and you will have a new bathroom. And the good thing is, if you change one that consumption to the general entry of the house will probably be affected to a degree. You don't need to check any of that. You just click, oh, resize everything for me. And you'll make sure that every point from there to the outside of the house is dimensioned correctly. So it's a way of saving a lot of time in little additions. I believe we're going to go to outputs now, Maria, if I'm right.
Yes, of course. Yes, let's go, because in each of the pipes you get a list of the checks that can be made one by one, so you can see all the results. But after everything, you will probably want the final report. So here it is. In the printer, you can click in the report results, and here you have all the values. Let me please make a bit bigger for each element. You get the length, the flow, of course, the pressure loss, etc. In case of any doubt, here we have the explanation of each of the abbreviations using for the reports. Okay, and here we have the text. The program gets the reports even if it's verified or not. So maybe you can take a look and see what should be improved.
And in many countries, at least that's how it works here, you need to adjust, not adjust, but you need to provide this kind of document when you go to certify your installation. So in here, you will have a very detailed report on your installation. You'll make sure that every single element is described and verified. So that'll probably give your local certification agency a run for its money. And if they give you trouble with this, they have the problem, not you. So I think this is really, really convenient. Just imagine we've changed a whole installation in a minute. Everything is dimensioned again, and all the reports are done. We're done. This is I don't know how much money do you make for adjustment, but it was done in a minute. So there's that.
And
then
I'll show you now the drawings, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
With the table, with all the symbols used, explanation. And
this is done automatically, right? You haven't touched anything.
Nothing at all.
You can, of course, edit this if you want to edit something.
You can export these to different formats.
Okay.
From here, the different peripherals you want. And if you want to, in the changes, for example, the symbol you want to be seen in the drawings and things like that, this is done from the general options. So it's very automatic. You don't edit the drawing itself. from here.
Okay, I see.
You can
saying.
So it's really faster, and
yeah, you don't need to play with the actual model. You play with a setup of the automatic tool that generates the model. Okay.
You can even create your own personalized symbol for the elements, etc. So the program is. I don't have, or we don't have time today for showing everything that the program can do, but I promise that it is really flexible. Yes. Talking about the flexibility of the program, I'd like to show another file that was done by a partner. And in this case, you can see that they have used their own symbols for the elements. With their own, they like showing the diameter in the element and the symbol, a very simple symbol. And you can see, as they did that they set that in the general options. Now the reports,
generates a
or the drawings in this case are like that. So that's, I mean, this is the experience that the user can set the program, and the program will do whatever the user wants. And if they save this in the library, they can use it for as many projects as they want. And
this is the way they like to show.
Yes, it might look like another program because this is how they set it. And if they prefer another color or any other thing, it can be set from general options as everything. Yes. Okay. Another thing, sir. It gives me the opportunity. This example gives me the opportunity to show something that is, for me, very interesting. That is that the program shows and highlights the worst case pipe. As you can see here, for example, you can see that this is highlighted. If we,
you mean it's a bit thicker, right? I can see the one in the middle is a bit. Okay.
Let me.
It's a bit too dense, maybe.
Yes. Now, maybe am I in the right one? Yes. One second.
Yeah, there is a lot.
Here it is. The worst case. I'm sorry. This is when we are alive. This is what happens. The worst case span is here. Okay, it's very easy to find it. Just.
Okay, it's a way to visualize. I haven't seen that before. I usually do smaller installations. Oh, I see. That's very clear.
It is. And in fact, you can set in the program that if you want to see in the reports only the worst case span. So this is, I think, it's quite a good feature of the program. And in case of doubt, I mean, you can see it visually, but if you have doubts, if you edit the pipe, you can see that the check is here, the worst case span. So the program detected that this was the worst case span of the installation. So part of the whole way to the worst element, which could be this in this case. Okay.
I think so. This building I like a lot. I've seen this example before. This gives us a chance to talk about copy pasting and doubling stuff. We were talking about it when we were discussing what to do in the webinar, and you told me that you were going to study if you could do something copy paste. I want to talk about it very briefly here, and then if you have an example, we can show in any way how to copy paste stuff. But our tools, CYPEPLUMBING Water System has a copy paste system that is built to be. Imagine, for example, if you're going to do a residential building, has 2 blocks, and each block has 4 houses per floor, 8 floors. So you may be able to do basically by hand or in an Excel file one house, right? And then you have one house done, and then you have the vertical column of water, so you can do some approach to kind of systematize how you do the vertical pipes. That's a bit basic. One of the things you can do here is, once you design one of the buildings or one of the houses, for example, you can copy paste the house or mirror it through symmetry, and basically you get 2 houses, and then you mirror it again through symmetry and you have 4 houses. You copy vertically. I believe there is a tool to copy vertically in different floors, and then you can have the 5, 6 floors, and then you only need to do the auxiliary installation, the vertical piping that connects everything through the stairs. So you only need to design 1 house of the 4x8 block that you're designing, and you can copy blocks. Like here you have 3, 4 blocks. So I just want people to imagine how fast you can work with this. You only need to pay attention once, and then you connect everything to make sure that the vertical piping is done and the column in the elevator is done correctly, and then you dimension everything and you make sure there is no guesswork. There is no estimations. Everything is calculated, everything is verified by the engine of our software to make sure that everything is dimensioned and checked against building codes. So I think that's really, really powerful. I don't know if you can show copy pasting. I know we mentioned it, but I don't know if you have something ready.
Yes. I have board that it's a multifamily building also. And imagine, here it is, just to get an idea of what we are talking about, okay? In this multifamily building, imagine that I already did 1 of the dwellings. And of course, I don't want to repeat it 7 times. I want to reuse this work in the other levels. How can I do that? I can do it very easily. One way could be go to the level I am, and with this tool, let me put it in the best way for me, because I want to be able to see the general sort of valve, etc. Okay. With this, having this, I'm going to the edit button, then copy onto another floor plan. I'm going to select everything that I'm interested in copying till here it is. And now right button and select, I'm going to select in which levels, which floor plans I'm going to copy it. I'm going to select from to the 7th level, accept, and as you can see, the 3D, I automatically have this copied. Of course, imagine we have to extrapolate this to a bigger building, more levels, etc. But I hope you get the idea of the power of the program, or the
so
fast.
You only need to do the auxiliary part, right, where it connects vertically through the elevator gap and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yes. And connect here in the manifold. Okay. So that's the part I would do manually, but I mean, you can save a lot of time.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time. And I think so. I was saying, you don't need to do any guesswork, because when you are doing this manually, I assume that you have to do the same thing over and over, or you have to guess what the percentage of the increment of the column of water is per floor and do some adjustments. This is all done and verified element by element, which is really interesting. Okay. Do you want to mention something else, Maria?
Let me think if something missing. Well, I think we mentioned the most important things. I think the next step is in the user. I hope they want to try the programs and see by themselves the power of the program.
Okay. In regards to that, we're gonna go. I'm gonna take it from here. Let's see if I can share my screen again. Let me go back here for a second. So what now? Well, you have 2 things you can do. First, you can go to BIMserver.center, sign in, and you can download any software you want with an evaluation license. You can try it. The best way, I think, is to contact us. We work in sales, but we will not bother you too much. Little bit, because we need to sell stuff, but not too much. we will try to have a personalized demo with you. We'll sit down with you and see exactly what you need, maybe with Maria, maybe with another technician, and we'll try to see if what you need we can provide, and we can show you something specific you want to see. For example, you work with a specific plumbing system, or you work in an industrial setting and you need a different kind of, we'll talk about that. So reach out. I think for this kind of life-changing, I guess you could say, decisions, it's always better to just talk to someone. And you have my email here, Jaime's email. You can contact the dealer, and they can lend you a license for a few weeks, a professional license that doesn't have any watermarks or anything, just for you to try. So I think that's a very optional thing you can do, but it's the best way to do it. Again, discounts in any software you want to buy. If you talk to us, we'll save you the discount for you want to buy. If you are from the webinar, or sales specialists will be able to help you with that. And I think this is us. Thank you for assisting to the webinar. If you want to watch it again, it will be up in the webinar gallery soon enough. So there's that. Thank you, Maria, very much. Again, I wasn't expecting the copy-paste project, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's always a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.